personal. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so very interesting stuff going on in the career of Gervonta Davis. I wanted to make this video about him because, he's been getting a lot of criticism for a long time about, who he's fighting and who he's not fighting and things like that. But it seems like he's now, after that Ryan Garcia performance, it seems like now Ring Magazine has seen enough from Gervonta Davis as far as skills, as far as resume, as far as opponents. They've seen what they needed to see to now place him in their top 10 pound for pound rankings, because now, as it stands, Gervonta Davis is the number 10 pound for pound fighter in the world on Ring Magazine's list, which is the list I like to use because Ring Magazine's been around for a while. They got a lot of history in the game. I know a lot of people like to put down Ring Magazine because they say Golden Boy owns Ring Magazine, but listen, I still like Ring Magazine, and I still, look at their pound for pound list just because of the history that it has, So when a fighter cracks the top 10 of Ring Magazine, it just hits a little bit different than when it's like ESPN or anybody else. That's just me. Right now, I gotta be honest. I've seen the list. I hate most of these pound for pound lists because I feel like any pound for pound list that don't have Artur Beterbiev on it are null and void. Like, Artur Beterbiev should be on every pound for pound list because he's a 3-belt champion and he has a 100% knockout ratio. What the hell else do you want the guy to do? He should be on every pound for pound list, right? And then, Earl Spence. To me, Earl Spence shouldn't be on any pound for pound list because he hasn't really like boxed. Like, he's been very inactive, and what has he done recently in recent memory to be a pound for pound fighter? I don't see how you could put him on a pound for pound list. But anyway, back to Tank. I want to keep it on Tank, right? Because Gervonta Davis, I feel like it's very easy to criticize him, and I know all the critiques. The first critique is gonna be, well, he cherry picked a bunch of small guys when he was like early in his career, which is true. Like, he did fight Jesus Cuellar, he did fight Hugo Ruiz, he did fight those guys. That was a thing. He did go to the UK and fight the light punching, overmatched Liam Walsh. He did all those things, right? But one thing about Tank, what I will say, is he's been able to deal with different types of styles. The smaller pressure fighters like Isaac Cruz dealt with him. Taller, longer, rangier guys like Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia dealt with him. He showed a boxing IQ. When he beat Ryan Garcia, he didn't look for the knockout. He boxed his way to the knockout. And when we're talking about pound for pound, apart from resume and things like that, he's done it a couple times in his career where he's not necessarily he's not going looking for knockouts. He's boxing his way to knockouts, and those are two fundamentally different things. So should Gervonta Davis be a pound for pound fighter just based on skills and IQ and things like that? I don't think I don't see a problem with it, to be honest. Now, I know the other criticism, and I think it's a fair criticism because I remember I'm old enough and I've been watching boxing enough and I've been following boxing enough to remember when Manny Pacquiao was knocking out all these guys and like Miguel Cotto and De La Hoya and these guys. And a lot of boxing fans were saying, well, he's the catchweight king. We don't respect Manny Pacquiao's doing because he's not fighting guys at their optimum weight, right? Well, there's a lot of people that I feel like aren't keeping that same energy when it comes to Tank. Tank, if we're gonna criticize Pacquiao, right? Tank fought Ryan Garcia. We know that there was a gajillion stipulations. Yes, Ryan signed a contract, but there were a lot of stipulations. The catch weight, the rehydration clause. Now it turns out there were spies in camp, and then that leads to all the other conspiracy theories of was people on Ryan's team in cahoots with PBC, and that's a whole nother topic. But he had things placed on him. Mario Barrios just came out and recently admitted that there was a rehydration clause placed on him as well, right? We know Rolly was extremely weight drained when they fought, right? So what I'm saying is, I know the criticism of Tank, and I think some of them are very valid, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to use those criticisms or those critiques of Tank to demean or downplay his skills. Gervonta Davis is one of the most skillful fighters in boxing. A lot of people say like, oh, well, Gervonta Davis doesn't throw a lot of punches. Well, boxing is not about throwing a lot of punches. Boxing is about hitting your opponent and rendering him unconscious. And whichever route you take to go ahead and do that, that's your prerogative. So some fighters like to throw a lot of punches. They like to overwhelm you with pressure and volume, okay? And for some fighters, that's the best way to do that. For some fighters, the best way is to sit back, counter, wait for you to make a mistake, beat you by your own mistake, and you know, make you pay for it. And that's the way Gervonta Davis generally, you know, when he beats you, that's the way he approaches things. He waits for you to make a mistake, and he boxes his way to knockouts. It's crazy. He's probably one of the only fighters in boxing where you could really say, you know, he's boxing his way to knockouts. He's not searching for the knockout. He's not, you know, he's not pressing for it. It just comes. It just comes to him. And it's against, and the thing is, and the reason why I don't have a problem with him being on the pound for pound list is because, you know, he's doing it against different styles. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a southpaw. It doesn't matter if it's like a explosive gunslinger type of fighter like Rolly. Doesn't matter if it's against long rangier guys like Ryan Garcia and Barrios. He's getting the job done. And at the end of the day, we know boxing is a sport where if you're an A-side fighter, like, okay, there's gonna be stipulations and bullshit that goes on, but listen, when that contract is signed, after that point, boxing becomes a results-based business. So we could sit here till the cows come home and we could find ways to discredit a man's accomplishments or why another guy didn't win a fight. But at the end of the day, Gervonta Davis has fought 29 times in the professional ranks. He's got 27 knockouts. He's shown you boxing skills. He's shown you counterpunching. He's shown you the ability to grind it out in fights against guys like Isaac Cruz. Let's give this man from Baltimore a little bit more respect if we're not giving it to him already. Obviously, there's a lot of arguments you could use to say he's overrated, and I get all of them, but I'm going to give the man this credit. I still think he needs to fight Shakur Stevenson. I still think he needs to fight Devin Haney. I still think, you know, there's guys around 140, like, you know, or 135, Frank Martin, Sabrina Matias, Regis Prograis. Like, there's a lot of killers in and around his weight that he has to go see for me to really give him like the ultimate praise and credit that he's looking for. But is he a top 10 pound for pound fighter? That's not crazy at all. And shout out to Gervonta Davis for seeing it through to get to this point. A lot of fighters don't even get to this point in their career, so God bless him for that. But yeah, that's the news. Ring Magazine is placed Gervonta Davis top 10 pound for pound on their list, coming in at number 10. Now, I ain't mad at that. Just please take Errol Spence off because he hasn't done anything in a while. He doesn't box like ever anymore. And swap him out for Artur Beterbiev because Artur Beterbiev is the knockout king of the sport. 100% knockout ratio, 3 belts, and just tons of great names on his resume. Killers, guys that can really fight at the highest of levels. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys can leave it in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dane. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.